So many network marketers fall in love with a health and wellness product, and then they realize that there's an incredible opportunity to build the lifestyle and income of their dreams. But what happens when you get started and you run out of friends and family to talk to, and what you're doing on social media just isn't quite getting you where you want to be? Well, the truth is it's probably not your fault. It just takes a little marketing know-how that you may not be getting from anywhere else. So on this podcast, I'm sharing with you the secrets that I've been able to learn from all of my top earner friends and mentors. I'm pulling back the curtain on exactly what it takes to get people excited about the wellness products that you have to offer, to help people improve their lives, and to get you to the rank that you want to be at. My name is Soraya Goddard, and this is Secrets to Marketing Your Wellness MLM. Hey everyone, Soraya here. I am excited to talk to you today about something that I think needs to be discussed when we're talking about marketing. You know, the more you put yourself out there, the more comfortable you become with reaching out to people, with putting your content out to the world, there is a chance that, well, there's pretty much 100% chance that eventually someone is going to give you some hate. Someone is going to specifically probably give you some hate about what you do. They're going to be hating on MLMs. I know, shocker, right? Super shocker. So funny thing though, when I first started, and for those of you who heard me kind of tell an abbreviated version of my story a couple episodes ago, when I signed up for the company that I'm in, that I'm actually still in, believe it or not, I didn't know what network marketing was. I mean, I had no idea. I kind of had this vague concept that someone got paid to do something and to sell products, but I really didn't understand that it was an industry and that there were different companies. I mean, like I had heard of Mary Kay and kind of generally had heard of Amway, but I never had given it a second thought. I never spent any amount of time actually thinking about what that was and how it all worked out and how much people got paid. And it just didn't cross my mind. So I think that actually benefited me because when I came into a product that I loved, I just didn't have any misconceptions. I was pretty pumped about the product and still am pretty pumped about the product all these years later. But anyways, I think that helped me. And so it shocked me though, when I did encounter some negative attitudes. I had no idea that people had such negative, or that some people, I shouldn't say all people, that some people have some really negative attitudes about multi-level marketing or network marketing. And I was so hurt. The first time, I will tell you, I was in tears. I literally cried the first time someone told me that, I'll spare the specific phrase because then I'd be talking about my company and my products. But the first time someone gave me online hate, I'll just put it at that. I had advertised for a home meeting that I was going to have, and this person ripped me to shreds in a public group. And it was devastating to me. It was absolutely devastating to me. I was in tears, and those tears shocked me. I'm not a big crier. And so the fact that I was so upset about it, I think just clued me into how passionate I was about what I was doing. And I had just started out at that point. So it was doubly painful because it was one of the first attempts that I had made to actually do any kind of marketing. And so for someone to cut me down like that, it was just gut-wrenching. So it's funny, fast forward 2 years now, if someone did the same thing to me now, I'd be like, yeah, whatever. So I've obviously outgrown whatever pain that was, or the ability for people to hurt me with their hatred of our industry. But I wanted to give you some tips, some things that I've learned, and just some perspectives. I'm sure you guys have some perspectives as well. But some things that I've learned about not paying attention to what other people think of our industry. And I think it's vitally important for you to grow your business to have a positive outlook. So I'll just go through some advice. And then at the end, I'd love to hear your advice. If you hit me up on social media and let me know if you have anything maybe you want to add to the list. So without further ado, I'll go through just a couple thoughts. Okay, number one, you do not need anyone's approval, period. You do not need anyone's approval. If you believe in your product, your service, your opportunity, and the vision of who you want to become, the vision of how you want to grow your business, the vision of how you want to impact people, then screw everybody else. It doesn't matter. They can have all their opinions. They can hate what you do. They can not like what you do. They can think that you're all sorts of bad things, but you don't need them. And it's totally okay. I know it takes a little bit of time to get there, but if you keep on going, you will get there. Also, number 2, if you encounter someone who doesn't like the MLM industry or our business model, then it definitely is not worth your time to attempt to change it. I usually immediately stop the conversation if I'm in a conversation in person or online, or someone trolls something that I've done. I disengage as quickly as possible. I drive on and I don't look back. I don't give it a second thought. It is not worth your time to try to convince them. No matter how much you think that they might be able to benefit from it, there is nothing positive that will come of that. In fact, I think if you try to attempt to change their mind, they will probably look at you even more negatively. So it's best to just cut your ties and move on. Number 3, I think that this might be a little bit controversial, but I do think that we have a responsibility as network marketers to be honest and upfront and authentic in our marketing. And I will say also in our conversations with people, so that we can change the perception of our industry. Because let me be completely honest, there's a lot of people that are practicing bad marketing out there. And that's why our industry, or part of the reason why our industry has gotten a negative reputation for some people. But I fully believe that if we all help each other learn how to, produce quality marketing, how to be honest and authentic in our marketing and our conversations, don't overhype, don't overpromise, don't come out with spammy, marketing pitches that just aren't true, right? As long as we all band together and we do what's right, it will require education and consistency from all of us, but we will be able to change the perception of our industry. And I'm doing my little part. This podcast is, part of that, to be able to change that. Number 4, the unfollow button on Facebook is your greatest friend. My rule is use it early and often. The unfollow button. Yes, of course, you can unfriend and block if you absolutely need to. But I know that some of you, I don't know, maybe you might not be... You're a little afraid of the the block or the unfriend button because you're afraid that someone will know that you've unfriended them. First of all, don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. But this is where the unfollow button can be really fun. You can unfollow someone and they won't even know that you've unfollowed them. So your closest Aunt Becky, who lives down the street from you, that is going to be at your house for dinner, she doesn't like what you do and you don't want to deal with her nonsense on her Facebook posts, or whatever it is, right? Just unfollow her. You can always refollow her later and they won't even know the difference, right? Unfollow them. Now, if it's more serious and it's someone that you don't care about, then definitely unfriend them. Or even if it is someone you care about, I always recommend the unfriend button too. That is like I use it all the time. It's so great. It's so great. I unfriend people all the time because guess what? It is my right. It is my social media. I don't owe anyone to be friends with them on Facebook. Like, it's not a thing. It's not a thing that I owe them. So anyways, number 5, don't be afraid of annoying people by reaching out to them. So here's the deal. This kind of gets back to number 3, that we have a responsibility to be honest and upfront and authentic in our marketing and our conversations that we have with people. This goes hand in hand with it, because if you are honest and upfront and authentic with your marketing and the conversations and how you're representing you, your company, your passion for the products or the opportunity or whatever it is that you're selling, and if you're on here and you're in the health and wellness industry, then it's most likely products that you're talking to people about. Do not ever be afraid of annoying someone by reaching out to them. As long as you're respectful, 99.9% of people will be respectful and polite back to you if you give them an out. So if you say, hey, this may or may not be for you, I'd love to share with you what I'm doing. If it's not for you, no big deal. And you kind of give them the, hey, I'm not going to force this stuff down your throat, right? That's not cool. I wouldn't expect the guy selling shoes at the mall to force the shoes down my throat. So I'm not going to, shove my wellness products down your throat. If you are approaching it in an honest and awesome and really cool, low threat way to people, people are going to be respectful to you. Even if they say no, I mean, sometimes they may ghost on you, right? Because they're too chicken to say no, but that's a whole different story. Maybe we'll cover that in a different episode. Most of the people are going to be respectful and polite if the offer is not for them. And the 1% or the 0.1% or whatever that fraction is of people, that percentage of people that are reacting in a bad way, whatever that group of people who are reacting negatively, those people are reacting because of something that they are dealing with that has nothing to do with you. I promise. I'm going to say that again. It took me a while to really understand this. The people that are reacting negatively to you, and this is not just in network marketing, but the people that are reacting negatively to what you are doing are reacting negatively because of something that they are dealing with that has nothing to do with you. If they are rude to you, that is because they are a rude person and they're in a bad place. And they are hurting and they are lashing out at you for a reason that is unrelated to whatever you asked them about. Because most people with a brain on their head and when their heart's in the right place, they're not going to be rude to you if you've been nice to them. So yes, have I had people be rude to me? Absolutely. Absolutely. I pissed some lady off today when I was talking to her on Instagram. Like, it happens to me all the time. And it's because someone is in a bad spot. It's not because of something I said. And sometimes it's hard in the moment if someone lashes out at you or, tells you that you're a terrible person. It's hard to remember that. It's really hard to remember that. God, I'm making this sound like it's super scary to reach out to people. It isn't. There are so few people that are rude. Everyone's usually generally very polite and awesome. And I actually really love reaching out to people. I know this is a marketing podcast, but really, you can't really talk about marketing without talking about prospecting as well. So again, if people are rude to you or reacting negatively in an absolutely ridiculous way, it's all about them. It has nothing to do with you. Move on. Okay, next one, number 6. Sometimes, this is not often ever, but sometimes if you get a really, really, really negative reaction from someone or they feel like it's their place to lecture you about network marketing, it's usually because they've had a terrible experience in the past with someone or some network marketing experience. So I think that in generally, my rule would apply. I would say, awesome, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I hope you have a great day, and cut contact as soon as possible. Break away, run away. But if for some reason that person you're talking to is really important to you, you may want to consider saying something like, wow, it sounds like you had a bad experience in the past. I'm sorry for that. And then see what they say. You follow me? So if you're talking to them about network marketing and they're like, oh my God, it's a scam. Wow, it sounds like you may have had a bad experience in the past. I'm really sorry for that. And then just pause and see what they say. At that moment, I'm guessing that they will likely realize that you are not the one that they're upset at, right? You're not the person that they're mad at. And if they still don't realize that, then definitely move on. Sometimes they'll say, yeah, I did have a bad experience. Some guy reached out to me in a way I didn't like, or he was condescending, or I felt like I was duped in some other way in the past. They're going to tell you why they have that emotional response. And it usually has nothing to do with you. Sometimes it's just kind of nice to remind themselves of that. I would say most of the time I would still disengage, but it's also nice to just remind them that, again, you're not that person. And whatever they're blaming you for, whatever issue they had on it in the past, that is not because of you. Number 7, you should only want to work with the people that you want to work with and that want to work with you. It's like dating, right? Nobody wants to force another human being to date them because it never works out that way. Like, that's just a bad idea. Bad idea. Find the person who wants to date you, i.e., find the person that wants to use your product or join your mission or help you build an empire or whatever you're looking to do. And everybody will be much happier. So that's it. Those are my tips for when you encounter people who don't like what you're doing. And just so you know, I've unfollowed and blocked a bunch of people this week. I mean, a bunch. I love it. It's like the best feeling ever. It's really cathartic. You should try it. Because what that shows is that you don't need those people. You get to choose on social media and in life who you hang out with and who you're surrounded by and what messages you see. Sometimes that's dangerous, right? Because we can live in an echo chamber. But for the most part, it's really, really cathartic to be able to block and unfollow people that are just not helpful to your state of mind. This kind of gets to the whole, you're the composite. I'm screwing this up, right? But you're the composition of the 5 people that you spend the most time with, right? Or similar thoughts. You are going to reflect the message that you are getting from the people that influence you. You're going to believe the messages from the people that influence you. So if there are people on your social media or in your life that are hating on what you're doing, it's probably time to cut them out or at least step away from them for a while. So again, unblock, unfollow. Oh man, it's so good. It's so good. Maybe I should give you a homework assignment, find 4 really negative people on your Facebook feed and just unfollow them and block them and get rid of that nonsense, right? Because you don't need them. You don't need anyone's approval. Okay. Hope you enjoyed that. If you have anything else that you'd like to add to my list, I'd love to hear it. Find me on Instagram at Soraya Goddard or send me a note on my website at sorayagoddard.com. I would love to hear from you. Chat soon. Bye. Hey friends, I hope you enjoyed Secrets to Marketing Your Wellness MLM. I really need a favor from you, if you don't mind. Would you please go onto iTunes and leave me a review? You can do it super simply from your phone on the podcast app, and I would be very grateful because it allows more people to find us. And if you found any particular episode helpful, feel free to share it with your teams or your Crossline members. And for those of you who are looking to work with me maybe a little bit more closely, please feel free to connect with me or contact me on my website at www.sorayagoddard.com. That's www.sorayagoddard.com. I would really love to hear from you. Thanks.